Good morning. It is now October 22nd, I think, Tuesday of 2024. And this is part 8, I think, of how to get more voltage and or current out of a battery or solar cell, etc. And here, of course, I'm using a 12-volt DC automotive battery hooked up to an inverter, which goes to a step-down transformer, 10-to-1 step-down, and all these parts. This is a continuation of the last video, so you should watch the last video. There's two 12-volt DC bulbs there hooked up, automotive type. And I've got two more here. One there, and one there. And they're actually 6-volt DC bulbs. What I wanted was a 12-volt DC bulb. They didn't have any, so I bought two 6-volt DC bulbs, and I connected them in series through this white wire here. So what happens is, if there's 12 volts going down here, 6 volts will drop over that, and 6 volts will drop over that. And what's interesting about that, it only pushes the current needed for one bulb. It pushes it through there again to go through the second bulb. It's like it's recycling it. And it actually saves 50% current just going through there. This is like you're running two devices for the price of one. And I proved that with my diagram 3. If you're familiar with that. So what I've done here is I had that measurement of 1.28 amps here coming out of the transformer that doesn't seem to be used for much. So what I did was I put those two 6-volt bulbs together in series. I wired those up in parallel with the secondary coil wires, which are these two green ones. And now we got an extra source of 12 volts applied to an inverter, like right there, And over here, I talked to had up to 4. You can use 2 or 4 inverters. So that's a lot of extra power to use for devices if you have enough current going through everything. So now I'll turn it on, and I'm not going to make any measurements with my meter because I've got it all written down here. And we'll just talk about that. If I can remember everything here. Okay, so all I have to do is turn the switch on to show you. There's those little bulbs light up. And these 12-volt bulbs are lit up. So I guess that's all I have to show you for now. Can turn it off and talk about these measurements here. That's without the extra load, which is 1.28, which we measured before in the last video. But the current went up a little bit going into the transformer. But now here with the extra load, to get a little bit more coming out, 1.32 compared to 1.28. But going into the transformer is less, 0.17 compared to 0.23, which is really good. And it proves that it's a power supply current saver. And I suppose when I add some more parallel branches connected to these green wires, just like that's a parallel branch right there, those two bulbs, you probably save even more current because it's got 1.32 amps to work with. Or it might be even higher. The more devices you put on it, I don't know. Depends how much these capacitors, there's two of them in here. Depends how much they charge up with current, and how much they discharge and all that. So I guess that's all I have to say about that circuit. But my next video is going to be really amazing. What I'm going to do next. I'm going to be using only 4 of these capacitors. And that's all. This is some wires and a load device. No, 2 load devices. And I'm going to prove something that is going to be outstanding. And I want to be bold and say this next experiment is going to be successful and is going to stop this global warming threat, issue, problem, whatever you want to call it, climate change. And it's going to cause the power companies to burn a lot less fossil fuels, up to 99% less. It's going to be so amazing. Because you won't have to push the electrons all the way from the power plant generator to your house. That's ridiculous. That's not necessary. Because of this idea I came up with. It's all related to this. These capacitors are really amazing. Of course, you're going to have to use really huge capacitors. They can make them giant ones, It'll be good for, you have a pump about 500 yards away from your house, going to the creek. You'll be able to go even further. The extension cord to the pump. Okay, so wish me success, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.